Okay, the next thing we need to do is create our grade rules. So I gave you all, so we've done all of this. I gave you all a schematic here, and I also gave you all a graded spec sheet. So what you'll notice is in the graded spec sheet, you have actual measurements. Note that these are full circumference measurements like hip, sweep, waist, right? There's placements, there's waist placement, front neck drop, back neck drop, etc. We are going to extract grade movements from this, and we're going to use those to create our grade rules. Okay, so to find the difference between sizes, we have to just use a simple subtraction formula. So in this blank cell down here, I'm going to type in equals, and I'm going to do the 6 minus the 8. I always like to do the new size minus the base size. Mine is suggesting an autofill. I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to also show you how to fill if you don't want to do that. So now that you have that, you can actually select this little dot in the corner. Yours might be a box, and drag it over. Okay? When you drag it over, note that this formula says D3 minus E3, 6 minus 8. When you go to the 4, it's now C3 minus D3, so the 4 minus the 6. So the cells will move with the formula unless you put dollar signs around one or both of the cells. Then whichever one has the dollar signs will stay steady. Okay? We'll do the same thing here, equals 10 minus the 8. Okay, I will say yes, please fill for me. And then I'm going to drag this over. Okay, so once I have these, what I can do is select all of them and drag them down. Okay, oops. Okay, I can't. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, I'm going to drag these down. Okay, so basically what this does is calculating the difference between sizes for each point of measure. Okay, I'm then going to translate these into my graded spec, my grade rule table. Okay, so first I'm going to go in, I'm going to open up a new grade rule table. Okay, I'm going to call it TC322, 2502, Princess New Dress. Numeric, base size is 8, size step is 2, smallest size is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I think that is correct. Let's look. Base size 8, 2 to 16. Okay. I'm going to save this. I'm going to name it. My initials, 2502. Okay. And I'm going to go to rules. I'm making sure I'm in base, up, down, incremental. I also just want to make sure I'm in inches, imperial, and then I have a precision of 3 decimal places. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself room for I think it's 11 rules. Okay. All right, our rule number 1 is always 0. Okay. So the first thing I want to start with, see if I can do this. Okay. I'm going to start with my width grades first. So the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6. So notice that my origin line is now in my bust. When we did the bodice, we had it at the waist, which allowed the whole vertical waistline and center front and center back lines to be 0. So when we get to our X grades, they'll be a little bit more complicated just because of where this origin line is. Okay. So let's talk about Y's first because they'll be easier. So for our 3, 4, 5, 6, these will all be the same because if you look down here at our spec, we have bust, waist, hip, and sweep are all 1, 1, 1, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Okay. So what did we learn from the last assignment about our grade rules? When we had 1, we realized we could get to it not by using the slash lines, but saying if our whole circumference grades 1 inch, if your whole waist is grading 1 inch and your whole waist is made up of 2 fronts and 2 backs, then you could really just take 1 and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. So that means for our bust, waist, hip, and sweep, our Y rule, right, going in this direction, is going to be 1 quarter for the bust, waist, hip, sweep, and 1.5 divided by 4 is 3/8. Okay, so that means we will have, going down on the smaller sizes, -1/4. Going up on the larger sizes, +3/8. Okay, this is our x-axis, so we are in the positive quadrant here, and that means when we get larger, our values are positive, and when we get smaller, our values are negative. So let's start with 3y. This will be -1/4, -1/4, -1/4. And then from the 8 to 10, we switch to +3/8 for 4 sizes. Okay. Now I can take this, I can copy it, copy, and I can paste, 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 paste. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay, now let's talk about our Y for 7 and 8. So for 7 and 8, we have an across front, across back, and a shoulder. Okay, so if we look at our shoulder width grades and our cross front, cross back, we have -1/2 going down and +3/4 going up. So with widths, we don't divide by 4 because we're not going all the way around the body. We're just measuring from shoulder point to shoulder point, as if you had 2 fronts here. Okay, so that means that this whole shoulder width grades 1/2, then this shoulder point right here is going to get 1/2 of that. So our grade going down will be 1/4, and our grade going up will be 3/8. Okay, so we'll go here to and I realize now I changed this for some of you. I think the 702 class used this. The 701 and 703 class, this was actually -1/4, quarter, and this was 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, which then means these values would be -1/8 and 3/16 is 1/2 of 3/8. Okay, please use whichever one your class, if yours says 1/2, this value is 1/4. If yours says 1/4, this value is 1/8, right? It's just 1/2 of whatever your value is. Okay. I'm going to follow the one that we did in the last 2 classes because it's a little bit more accurate. Okay. Now for 9, this is our neck width. Okay, from 9 to 9 on the front is our neck width. So I'm going to look at my neck width grade, which is 1/4 for all sizes. So again, I have a width, so I'm going to divide it by 2. So that's going to be -0.125, positive, okay. Okay, 10 and 2 are going, and 11 are all on the x-axis, so they're all going to have y's of 0. So I'm going to take this, copy to the 2, to the 10, and to the 11. Okay, we're done with y rules. Now, for the x rules, this is where we get a little